Hi, my name is Jamie Seacrest. I'm going to be doing my presentation on my Eportfolio non-degree seeking for building administration. I'm going to start out with talking about the goals. We came up with a goals video at the beginning of our portfolio, kind of seeing where I wanted to be in the next up to 10, 15 years, and kind of where I wanted to start, and kind of made me really kind of think, this is kind of really what I want to do. I want to be in the leadership role within the next 5 to 6 or 7 years. Then we came up with our leadership philosophy. This was really interesting, kind of going through this part, trying to figure out what kind of leader that I want to be, and everything that I was researching and different things and how I am as a teacher. I still feel that relationships are huge and a very big part of my philosophy, and showing compassion, being there for your students and your staff. My plan of study kind of shows you here. I started in December of 2021, or January of 2021, and finishing in December 2021. Kind of did the fast pace through getting my endorsement for my master's in building administration. My resume kind of went through some of the skills and different experiences. I've done most of my teaching experiences in 5th grade, some 6th grade combination classes, but I did do some couple years in middle school teaching ELA and science. I've got my undergrad from Emporia State in marketing, and then I got my undergrad at Auto University in elementary education. And then I got my master's in instructional design from Emporia State, and then I'm adding the building administration endorsement from Fort Hays State. Some of my awards: I was nominated Teacher of the Year for USD 365 in 2019. It was a fabulous experience. I've learned so much from that program, and met some long life friends and different programs that I will continue to be part of. The activity form was really nice and neat to kind of put it into different color coordination, making sure that I get all the standards hit and the components as I was going through the program. This little activity tracker where we can mark off with the standards and components, making sure that I have all my district, secondary, and elementary sections accounted for. My administrative verifications: I have one from our superintendent, Don Blum, one from our secondary principal, Marshall Neinstead, and our elementary principal, Mrs. Debbie Alford. And then we had came up with an annotated bibliography of researching different articles and topics, looking at different aspects and different titles. This was quite interesting, kind of going through this. There's so many different ideas and articles out there on the different topics, but it just kind of seemed as I was going through that a lot of them kind of all based around like relationships, working together as teams and different things. So it was kind of nice to see and being able to reflect back and decide what kind of articles I would use in the future. And some of them made me kind of rethink of how I am thinking now, and maybe how I will want to be a principal in the future. So I started out my district activities slideshow. So I'm part of the mentoring program with our district, so a lot of some of the stuff that I did with the district level, I worked with the new teachers in the building. So I kind of started out with our new teacher orientation, kind of deciding, well, like, what is our mission and vision, and what kind of things do you want to see in your classroom, and understanding what our vision and mission is for the USD 365. Kind of come up with like, what's your brand? What kind of legacy do you want to leave to go on to the students that you have throughout the years. Standard 2 for the district level, I kind of went in, same thing, doing with the mentoring program, kind of why must we all be good digital citizens? What makes us online safety, teaching different things. We talked about what's considered appropriate computer usage and what is not, and what to look for in students using the computer, since we're moving so much towards such a technological day and age of teaching that I thought it was very important to make sure the new teachers in the district knew about this. Standard 3, equity, inclusiveness, and cultural responses. We kind of went in protecting student rights, talking about the rights that we need to make sure that we're helping the students advocate for, letting the parents know what rights are out there for their students, and just knowing what kind of things to be looking for and how we should be treating these students in our buildings. Standard 4, learning and instruction. I am part of the district leadership team, so every year we kind of get together and we talk about different professional development opportunities that we would like to offer to our teachers of our district. And so we send out some different Google Sheets and Google Drives and come up with a plan on what kind of professional development we're going to create for the staff. Standard 6, operation and management. I kind of went over, made a flyer on the free appropriate public education, what kind of laws and regulations are out there for families and students that might be coming into our school, and just kind of went over it, the different things with the new teachers and making sure that they understand what is out there. And next I did the secondary level presentation. Started out with ethics and professional norms, kind of talking with some secondary level teachers on what makes up a good leader, what kind of things are they looking for in leaderships, and what kind of leadership styles are they using in their classrooms. Standard 3, I looked at in the secondary level, looking at equity, inclusiveness, and culture responses. We did a little small after-school presentation with some junior high teachers that work with some students with disabilities, kind of talking about people first language, kind of knowing what things to look for in working with those students and how to handle situations. So what are some laws and regulations that are out there for those students? Standard 4, learning and instruction. We did some oral reading fluency screeners, since dyslexia is such a huge thing right now that we're looking at in our buildings, trying to deal with our students that are maybe suffering for that. We're doing that through the Ames web. So we kind of met and decided what kind of benchmark we were looking at and what kind of screener for dyslexia, and using that data, and we decided to use the oral fluency off the Ames web on how to do that, so I trained them on how to use that information. Standard 5, community and external leadership. Was just met with the worked with the principal and did a little short thing after school in a staff meeting, talking about the culture and collaboration engagement, why it's important to collaborate not only within the school with your classified and non-classified students, but all staff, as well as community members and different people that are part of the school, different stakeholders. Standard 6, operation and management, purchasing things for the classroom. We kind of went over a little video on proper use of credit cards, and then we kind of talked about how to make requisition requests through our program that we use at school, so they knew how to purchase different items for their classroom. Standard 7, building professional capacity. We kind of went through this with some high school and junior high teachers, like what kind of programs do we have in the school that's kind of help building the capacity, what kind of things would we like to add, and what ways would they like to figure out how to make the building capacity a little bit better within their school, and we did a little short survey on that. And then lastly, building professional capacity, I went in and did some observation in some different classes, kind of quick walkthrough with a short form, just doing a little bit of feedback for the teachers and just kind of seeing what kind of things were happening in the schools. Then lastly, I did the elementary slideshow, where we kind of looked at different things. I went from, creating our own mission and vision statement for our elementary school, since we don't have one that is posted, trying to come up with some new teachers to decide what kind of programs and mission that we would like to portray within our school that goes along with our district. I met with some teachers on ethics and professional norms, looking at Standard 2, making sure that they understood what the rights and different ways to communicate with the parents on different decisions, so they knew exactly what was doing during an IEP meeting. We have different programs that we kind of offer throughout the school to build in some Standard 3 of equity, inclusive, and culture responses. We have Buck Bingo, Fall Festival Day, Math Month, where we kind of bring in the families and try to do some collaborations with them. Learning and instruction, we did help with working with the principal, coming up with an MTSS guideline of how we wanted to break our students up into these groups. We used different data. We looked at some map data and some Ames Web. Along with that instruction, after we came up with our schedule, how are we going to monitor our students? What kind of benchmark data were we going to look at, and how would we like to use it in our classrooms, in our groups? Community and external leadership, kind of went over the FERPA policies with the staff at Greeley, so they are aware of all the laws and regulations of FERPA, and then they would have kind of a feedback on things to look for and things to know with FERPA. Community external leadership, since this school has a lot of new teachers, that was important for them to understand what the community of Greeley Elementary is like, what kind of culture and traditions does the school do, what's the school dynamics, and what is the community dynamics that are involved with the school. Operation and management, I helped build a master schedule for the school, which was kind of interesting since she does 2 different schools, the principal that I was following. So one had a junior high, which added a lot more stress into the scheduling part. Building professional capacity, collaborating with the school, what kind of school culture were the teachers wanting, and then ending it up, I did a building professional capacity looking at cyberbullying. I first presented to the staff on what kind of things to look for cyberbullying and things to help the students who felt that they're being cyberbullied out. And then I presented to the students on what things to look for and how they could ask for help if they felt like they were being cyberbullied. Then we had a reflection part of the program, and as I was going through this and looking at from when I started in January to ending in December, there was so many different things that I was so excited and learning from the different classes. I learned so much throughout the whole program on different activities and different rights that I really was not aware of until I started taking these classes, which was really nice because I learned so much from this program that I, feel like I will be a stronger leader going through and learning all this information. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Thank you.